The Northwest brought 2.7 million votes for us to come back to power. We need to understand this. And the Northwest decided to throw their man away, who is Atiku Abubakar, in honor of promise and in honor of partnership. And this is the consequence of partnership. And the partnership produced this outcome. So a situation whereby we are going into National Assembly politics, we should pay attention to the zones as opposed to talking about religion. It is the zone that produced the highest amount of vote that we need to compensate. You can't carry the Senate presidency and give to the zone that gave you 1.5% of the total vote that produced as against the zone that gave you 30% of the total vote, which is the Northwest. So these are just peculiarities. These are numbers. They might be unfair to some people, but they are our realities. They are the reflection of our realities. They are what we are going to hold on to
of your own
our
party.
subsequent election.
Of your own party.
Yes.
And your party is a party of Nigeria.
Of course.
And that party may not be what you're saying may not be reflecting the sensibility of Nigeria as a nation.
All of this, the Labour Party participated, right? You have PDP participated. They have their senators, Labour Party have their senators, SDP have their senators. You know, I think another party again has their senators, and then we now have APC. Some of them won, some of them lost. And when you participate in election, when you win, it is natural that you should do everything to consolidate your hold onto your position first and foremost. Then the others that lost also should be magnanimous to understand that they participated and lost. Should it be that maybe one of the parties won, maybe it may go in their favor that way. So we should look into these things. These are political realities. A situation whereby we are going to risk our 2027 plan, jettisoning the Northwest that has done everything possible to maintain APC held on to power, number one. And number two, that produced the most competent senator among all the aspirants. You can't compare all the aspirants. You can't compare all the others that declared Ojus or Kalu or Akpabio with Senator Barrow Jibrin. This man has had several committees, organized a lot of work in the National Assembly, especially around appropriation committee, that saw to the implementation of most of the programs of this government. He is the most competent, he's the most organized, he has been there, he's the fourth-time senator, he is the highest-ranking member of the National Assembly currently of the Senate. Why are we keeping competency as opposed to other primordial interests that might not add up anything to our 2027?
So other zones don't have competent people?
As the last speaker said, you have many offices that are distributed. You have about 6 principal offices that all zones are going to benefit from it. So that's what it is. So it should go as simple as that. Other offices, they can go for deputies. We have Speaker, House of Representatives, can go to the Southeast. You also have other principal offices, Deputy Senate President, Chief Whip, Senate Leader, downward. You can distribute these things as much as possible. But we have to empower someone from Kano to be able to neutralize the Kwankwasiya influence in Kano in our favor for 2027. It is very important for us to reflect our political realities. Yes, it is a party issue. Yes, it is a PC issue. But these are our realities, and we have to cement that.
It's interesting. A lot of people, they might be itching and about what you've said tonight, and they will be definitely may not agree with what you said. Well, let's close this conversation around. There is a renewed agitation against the mandate of your presidential candidate. I'm very sure there's something about Uber facts and something that have just been released about some issues, some papers and some issues that in fact have been taken to court right now. How did you see that coming up? How does that mean to you that there is a continued agitation about the competency and the character of your presidential candidate? Our
presidential candidate, or maybe President-elect, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is actually the most competent among all of them, and his character is super excellent, and we look forward to his giant stride transformation that he will do to Nigeria in the next 8 years by the special grace of God. And what UberFact did, I'm a tech person, and I do a lot of things around tech, especially when you come to social media. I even build a social media app, so I understand the algorithm. These guys have about 13 million followers. For the past 3 months, they hardly have any engagement that is more than 20,000 on their pages. So the only way to get engagement is to look for a group of people that are ready for your kind of narrative so that they can get engagement, so that they can come alive. So they decided to reincarnate a dead case, a stale case, target Nigerian audience so that they can get the retweets, the likes, and the audience they have. As at the time I'm coming here, they have about 12 million views. Success for them. And in fact, it's not even enough. They have to run another clarification again just to sustain the engagement and come alive. So they just use the dumb obedient to be able to get engagement.
That word might be very, very harsh. Please, unlike you
so I would
to use. Please, I wouldn't like you to call anybody dumb, even if you don't agree with their perspective to things. And there's been a whole lot of these clash that we have seen over time for those who feel that maybe the mandate was not legitimate, and their party have gone to court to challenge it. And so I asked a question the other day to someone else, and I probably will ask you also, why is that agitation so enormous? Have you seen any kind of opposition, or even when an election is being decided in this kind of manner and magnitude?
You see, Nigeria's election has never been this fairest and fairest. It is freest and fairest ever, because it deployed technology, and we believers in technology, we understood that. But again, for the beauty of democracy to be enthroned, you need such kind of agitation, provided they are not toxic. It's the toxicity that we are complaining. But don't forget, our current president always argue his cases up to Supreme Courts. Always argue his cases up to Supreme Court. So it's a tradition in APC that you must contest what you don't agree. As you are Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and so many agitations similar to this case through the normal procedure, through the court proceedings, have passed a lot of issues up to Supreme Court. If you could recall what happened with Adams Oshomole's election, or what happened in Ekiti, these are cases that went up to Supreme Court to recover. So we believe in this kind of thing, provided it followed through norms, democracy, procedure, according to the law. Not toxic agitations that don't make sense. The fact that they went to court is fine by us. We don't have any problem. And we have retinue of sons, professionals, that are going to defend these things. After all, so many of the sons are coming out to say they don't even have a case.
So my question really is, in the manner in which, if, for example, you have passed and you emerge as the school declare you as a best student, graduating student, and there's not been any major kind of opposition to anybody who has been so declared. But this time around, there's been so much of agitation against the person who has been declared as the best graduating student. Don't you think that something is wrong?
Actually,
there is an aura of unusual climate over shrouding that mandate. That's the question I'm asking you. Why is it so much different that this agitation that we're seeing and the mandate of your party after this election so intense?
You see, so many people invested emotions in election. And in election, emotions doesn't work. What works usually is the outcomes. You are able to participate, you are able to convince people, and you are able to get votes. And that's what our party did. And I want to remind you again that even in 2019, when we won the election, Atiku Abubakar, the PDP, went to the court, up to Supreme Courts. And that's where the case was thrown out. So in Nigeria's history, we have never had a period where court cases or issues like this does not come. The toxicity as a result of the emotional investment done by some people is what is affecting the polity that we think it is wrong. But the legal proceedings they are undertaking is okay. Me, I advise them to withdraw because they don't have a case. But if they insist that they must go to the case, to the court, it's open to them.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that the emotional investment need to be toned down, because in elections they are winners and they are losers, and the fact that they have lost, they should take their loss in good faith and plan for next time.
Okay. They said they have not lost rightly, so we'll see how that plays out in the court. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Adamu Garba, as a member of the APC. That's our show for today, everyone, and thanks for